On this episode of Cape Media News, students reach out to peers and parents at the 6th Annual Community Substance Abuse Prevention Forum. A series of new art installations, Beautify Hyannis, and No Place for Hate Barnstable kicks off at Cape Cod Community College. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Thank you for being here. The Cape Cod and Islands Commission on the Status of Women is holding a regional public hearing this month to collect and gather public testimony on the issues and concerns of women in the Commonwealth. The Commission is responsible for studying, reviewing, and reporting their findings to elected officials and is used to shape policies for possible legislation. The hearing will be held Tuesday, November 12th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at SEEIU's 1199 Union Hall at 89 Lewis Bay in Hyannis. Women of all ages are encouraged to attend. The event is open to everyone. You can learn more at ccicswinfo@gmail.com. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this week at the Harbor Overlook in Hyannis to celebrate a series of 4 new interactive sculptures by 3 local artists. The installations are part of the High Arts Discovery Walk, a project supported in part by the Mid-Cape Cultural Council, and it aims to enhance the natural beauty of Cape Cod for visitors and residents alike. Emily Tulloch reports.
A celebration and ribbon-cutting ceremony for the High Arts Discovery Walk, a series of 4 sculptures that connects historic Main Street Hyannis with the walkway to the sea path, was held at the Harbor Overlook. The sculpture installations include Seesaw and Ripple by Mary Ann Agresti, Sun Compass by Thomas Huttner, and Turn, Turn, Turn by Eric Kaiser. The High Arts Discovery Walk was created in partnership with the town of Barnstable and funded by the Mid-Cape Cultural Council's fundraising efforts and grants from other organizations such as Mass Development's Commonwealth Places program.
The project of the Discovery Walk first began actually in 2014. And so here we are at the almost end in 2019. We've had many ups and downs, starts and stops along the way, but it's a delightful presentation of 3 wonderful artists, and all of their theme was to be interactive, but also the beautiful sea land that we live in. It began with an idea just for a public art presentation, and the first artists were selected by the council, but then we lost 2 of the original artists, so then we had another call to artists and we added a 3rd.
Most sculptures are to be enjoyed from afar, but the ones in the Discovery Walk are interactive.
So as an artist, I've been working over the past several years developing pieces that would be discovered by people meandering throughout Hyannis. The pieces are to be interactive and not necessarily traditional sculpture that you just look at, but pieces that people, again, could interact with and play with. I love the idea of playing with sculpture. I design a lot of furniture, so this is a chance to design furniture outside for people to play with. My 2 pieces are called Ripple and Seesaw. Ripple is a bent steel piece of 2 colors, and it's powder coated for outdoor use. The idea is it's meant to be sat on to enjoy the music here in Azleton Park. It's meant to be leaned on. It's meant to be crawled through by kids, which I won't do right now. You can set up your picnic here, your laptop. You can work during lunch. But this is sculpture as furniture and furniture as sculpture. Seesaw is down the hill, and it is a piece that is designed like an upside-down dinghy that rocks. So it's a bench that looks very still, but when you sit on it, it begins to move. It surprises you maybe at first, but then you engage with it and enjoy the rocking like a rocking chair.
The Discovery Walk is intended to celebrate the natural beauty and culture of Cape Cod and to enhance the visitor and residents' experience of the harbor and downtown Hyannis area.
So we hope that it adds to the community a new and welcome perspective of being kind and good to the land and to enjoy this beautiful place that we live in.
For more information on the High Arts Discovery Walk, visit artsbarnstable.com. In Hyannis, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
If you'd like to visit these sculptures for yourself, they're located at the Harbor Overlook and Asselton Park in downtown Hyannis. Up next, No Place for Hate Barnstable celebrates diversity.
Everyone knows, in an emergency, you call 911. And do you remember calling 411 for information? But what do you know about 211? If you need help feeding your family and don't know where to turn, you should call 211. If you're a veteran looking for specialized services in your area, you should call 211. If you're unemployed or underemployed and don't know how to find the best opportunities for you, you should call 211. 211 is a free and confidential service that helps people across North America find the local resources that they need. No matter the time or day you find yourself needing help, a trained professional is ready to connect you to the community services around your area. Call 211 or visit 211.org and let us help find you the resources that are right for you. And if you represent a local nonprofit, civic organization, support or advocacy group, or other service agency, you should know if you are signed up with this important and free service. Registering with 211 helps locals connect with your health and human services organization. Whether you help victims of domestic abuse or provide housing assistance, work in addiction services, or run a support group, make sure that your organization is partnering with 211. Contact mass211.org for more information.
When it comes to hate crimes, no town is safe, not even the Cape and Islands. Earlier this month, Falmouth police were sent to investigate an anti-Semitic hate crime, and last year saw similar activity on Nantucket when a historic African meeting house was targeted. In response to these acts, No Place for Hate Barnstable kicked off their first meeting at Cape Cod Community College. Their goal? To combat hate and create a safe place for everyone. Emily Tulloch reports.
It was a gathering full of love, positivity, and a celebration of differences at Cape Cod Community College on October 20th as the first meeting for the new group, No Place for Hate Barnstable, kicked off. The No Place for Hate movement was created by the Anti-Defamation League in 1999 and is still used in public schools to combat bullying and biased behavior. The group is designed to support and give resources to any individual affected by bigotry, racism, or hatred. The movement has since reached beyond school systems and into community-wide efforts, including the towns of Falmouth, Mashpee, and now Barnstable.
Succinctly, it's a way for people to know if they should have a hate incident, where to go to get support. And the second is to be able to be educated about hate and its implications. And we want as many people to know about our program and also to get involved with us. In light of all the different incidents that have been playing out on the Cape that are faith-based, including anti-Semitism, but not only, racial and people with disability, what we want is for people to know this is going on, and we want their recommendations to us and their thinking to us.
The No Place for Hate Barnstable Steering Committee includes members from organizations like Barnstable Town Council and the Barnstable Police Department. It also includes community educators and individuals from the Cape Cod Synagogue, First Lutheran Church, and the Barnstable Youth Commission.
Our hope today is to kick off a campaign of love and acceptance and understanding in the face of a rising climate of hate in our community and around the country. We felt that standing still or simply saying no was not enough, but rather that we needed a positive response, that we need to actively show that we are reaching out to one another, that we are one human family, and that as Americans, we are one nation. I think that a lot of people on the Cape, particularly from minority communities of all sorts, don't necessarily feel heard. And that with the rising climate of hate that we've had, we're seeing more and more people act out in ways that we really are harmed by. And so we want to say, no, we actually love each other, that our differences are not threatening to each other, but in fact a normal part of our community, and they always have been. And they always will be.
I was quite passionate about being a part of this because, well, for one, being a gay pastor, it's, I have lived through what it means to be at the opposite end of the hate and realize that we are in a tough place right now. And so how do we get a conversation in which we bring all people together to talk about our commonality and stop thinking about ourselves as individuals who have no connections with one another. I think that No Place for Hate is a good place for us to start.
We are a commission that helps the youth of Barnstable, and we feel something like the No Place for Hate group really supports and brings a good message about how there should not be any hate, and we really like that message.
No Place for Hate Barnstable encourages and welcomes all community members to get involved with the program.
We're just delighted that this program is finally getting kicked off and that as many people get involved because we had no set idea of how many people would be attending.
It's a open and non-sectarian place and welcoming. So hopefully we get a good program here that fights hate as much as possible.
Visit No Place for Hate Barnstable on Facebook or adl.org for more information on the organization. In Barnstable, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
If you'd like to learn more about the No Place for Hate movement, visit adl.org or follow No Place for Hate Barnstable on Facebook. For the 6th consecutive year, the Barnstable Youth Commission presented their Community Abuse Prevention Forum, an event that teaches parents how to talk to their kids about the dangers of substance abuse. The evening served to educate the community, empower families, and inspire hope. Cape Media News reports. Is there such a thing as positive peer pressure? A group of teens with the Barnstable Youth Commission sure hope so. The 6th Annual Substance Abuse Prevention Forum was held this week at Barnstable High School to provide information for parents and the community on how to talk with kids about the dangers of substance abuse.
So tonight we have our 6th annual Community Substance Abuse Prevention Forum. So we're going to have a few guest speakers. Deb Ciavoli, great speaker. She is from Cape Cod Healthcare, and she has just a great speech. We also have Sean Cahill, deputy from the Sheriff's Department, and he gives a great presentation. And it's really just teaching others about substance prevention, and it's a great event, and I love it.
So tonight we're having a substance abuse forum for parents, and I'm going to talk specifically about underage drinking, alcohol, marijuana, and heroin and opiates. The kids actually organizing and running this is incredibly important because they're sending a message to the rest of their students that this is important. They want them to be safe. They hope that they make good decisions, and really that's all it comes down to, is making the right decisions.
The event was planned by the Barnstable Youth Commission, and local support agencies set up resource tables to offer support, services, and treatment for families in need.
What a great opportunity to get to know some of the community providers as well.
Danielle and I are here representing our office. It's very important, the mission of targeting the issue of drug use and substance use and abuse in our community. So we have some resources and materials. We definitely know and believe that this is not only an issue for adults, it's an issue for children and teens, and youths are affected by it.
Youth have so much to say, and they will listen to their peers. And it's really good to see so many parents coming out to an event that's sponsored by youth.
The Falmouth Police Department was on hand with their demonstration truck, hidden in plain sight, to give parents an up-close and personal look at what could be hiding in their child's room.
Presentation is called Hidden in Plain Sight, and so they had a lot of things to show that you might not know to look for. So I think not just for my own kids, but what I might see with their friends, things that are not what they seem that might be concerning.
Yeah, you definitely have to inspect what you expect.
Tonight we're talking to the parents mostly. We want the parents to know what their kids are going through and what is being circulated through their kids' classes in their schools. And we want the parents to realize what's really going on with their kids and what could be going on.
The Barnstable Youth Commission holds several events throughout the year. Their next event will extend their message of prevention to 7th graders.
That's an all-day event, and they have speakers such as this, but this is more for the kids. Try to get them at a young age where they, again, before they hit the high school, and I understand they maybe we need to do it even earlier, because I know 7th graders know a lot and are exposed to a lot. But that's another big event that's coming up as well, and it's a very unique thing that that there's a Barnstable Youth Commission. This is nothing to do with the school committee. This is a town-run commission that these kids, they're commissioners in town. They are appointed officials here in town, and they are making a difference in our community.
The Community Substance Abuse Forum was held Tuesday, October 29th. In Hyannis, for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. The 6th Annual Community Substance Abuse Forum was sponsored by the Town of Barnstable and the Barnstable Recreation Center. To learn more, visit thetownofbarnstable.us/youth services. Up next, the faith and science communities unite to combat climate change.
In the Yarmouth Port along Route 6A, known as one of the most beautiful roads in America, there's a little-known secret, a special building. I'm Mariana Gresti, representing the Yarmouth New Church Preservation Foundation. Since 1998, a non-religious group of local citizens have been restoring this former church building and have reopened its doors as a community center for visual and performing arts. The original details, including the stained glass windows, the tracker organ, the cast iron bell, and the recently restored ceiling paintings, are considered some of the best examples of American Gothic architecture in Massachusetts. In the audience room, we host local and visiting musicians and performers, even local school groups. In our Great Room Gallery, we hold receptions and display fine art. If you are interested in performing in our authentic historic space with its amazing acoustics, or want to help us with preservation and planning through volunteering, please go to our website at yarmouthportcommon.org. Just click on Contact and let us know. Remember to check out our calendar for this coming season of events. We look forward to seeing you at the Bell Tower on Yarmouth Port Common. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Climate change is a hot topic, especially on Cape Cod, where rising sea levels and increasing storm intensity threatens to disrupt our way of life. To find solutions, the 2nd Annual Cape Cod and Islands Faith and Science Forum invited members of both the scientific and religious communities, as well as advocacy groups and Senator Julian Cyr, to discuss climate change at Christopher's Episcopal Church in Chatham. Cape Media News reports. When it comes to climate change, the faith and science communities have often been at odds, until now. The 2nd Annual Cape and Islands Faith and Science Forum invited leaders from both the religious and scientific communities, as well as government and advocacy groups, to consider how faith and science can offer practical answers to the growing number of extreme weather events impacting Cape Cod.
And that's really what the program is about, science and faith together, trying to protect the world that we all live on, regardless of our faith.
The event was held at St. Christopher's in Chatham, where local leaders and researchers from Woodhull and Yale, as well as State Senator Julian Cyr, stressed the importance of taking climate action sooner rather than later.
The Boston Globe actually recently did a wonderful piece, and I encourage viewers to check it out. It's beautifully done, but it really talks about how Cape Cod is really at the edge of a warming world. And here on the Cape and the islands, actually, we are seeing seas that are rising faster than almost anywhere else in the world. That's going to mean major disruption for us here and how we live our lives. And as communities here, we're going to have to make decisions that we thought we'd have to make in the next maybe 50 or 100 years. We're needing to make those decisions in the next 10 or 20.
But many speakers stress that climate action is not just a political issue. It's also a moral one.
A lot of people are concerned that this is a political issue, and as a number of our faith leaders have indicated, you can make anything political, but most people, over 85% of the American public, have either an active or a passive connection to some faith community through their families and their childhood and upbringing. And so just about all of those people can relate to some moral obligation to take care of the earth.
It's really important to recognize that environmentalism is very intertwined with morals and values, and the idea that in order for us to take preservational measures, that we need to shift our values from valuing convenience and valuing luxury to valuing the planet and the resources it provides us.
I'm just so upset with what's happening with the world and our climate. And I actually go to this church, and so we talk about the morality of it a lot.
I'm a member of the Green Sanctuary Committee of the Unitarian Church of Barnstable, and I feel that we have to do something about the environment. It's so critical for the life of Cape Cod.
I think it's a huge plus to have the scientific community and the faith community working together on this issue, because there are scientific dimensions to this problem, and then there are ethical and moral dimensions to the problem. Science alone is not going to solve the problem. It's going to be ethical and moral action by our citizens and by our political leaders.
Student Montana Bailey represented Cape Cod's youth, emphasizing that when it comes to climate action, it's never too late to make a difference.
I've spoken at a lot of events like this, and one of the biggest things I get are a lot of apologies and a lot of good luck to your generation. So I think a really important thing is to give hope to the public and give hope in that they can still take action.
We can see that lots of people are here, and they really care about it.
We hope that it will become an annual event to continue to raise an awareness of the importance of taking care of the earth.
The Faith and Science Forum was held Saturday, October 26th. In Chatham, for Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. The second annual Cape Cod and Islands Faith and Science Forum was organized by the Faith Community's Environmental Network, an affiliate of the Cape Cod Climate Change Collaborative. Learn more about their work at capecodclimate.org. Well, that brings this week's episode of Cape Media News to a close. Please follow us on Facebook, and thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. With Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.